man, she's actually been doing a really good job on this this tree here. I mean, this is like hand built. This isn't, man. Wow. I mean, yes, my next evil plan has come to fruition, and I am ready to finally destroy my nemesis. Nemesis? Mama Bear! Yes, and this is my latest evil diabolical scheme. See, behold, I have a bed here, and it's surrounded by, like, what seems to be harmless wood, and yet, beneath it is TNT! And it's definitely going to catch her, because I have left this sign that says, "For Mama Bear, definitely not booby-trapped, sweet dreams." Yes, I shall destroy her for certain this time. Yes, nothing can stop me now. I need to get back to work. I still got a lot of work to do on this tower. Hello, members of the Pride, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Dichotomy. And evil has been thinking hard. So, the more I looked at this, the more I was thinking to myself, I don't really need to have any crazy mechanisms for making this next leg, this next floor, particularly difficult. The more I was thinking about it, the more I just thought, what's going to be really difficult is if I just cover everything in packed ice. I mean, on the surface, it seems like, oh, no big deal. That won't be hard, except, well, you're gonna sometimes you're gonna have to run to get across it. I mean, you might be able to do little things like that, but whoa, everything is very slippery, and just this alone is going to prove to be a bit of a challenge all by itself. So I think maybe I might have been overthinking this second floor a bit, because I don't think I really need anything other than just packed ice. I suspect that people are going to already going to be they're going to get to this part and they're going to be like, oh boy, and they're going to have to sort of edge their way across it and be real careful, because one false step is going to put them right back into the labyrinth. And I imagine that's probably going to be a little disheartening. But that's the point. It is, we are evil, and evil does not do favors for people who are in the Tower of Terror. This is the Death Tower, the Doom Tower, the Evil Tower of Evil. Yeah, I mean, So that's kind of what I'm doing right now, is I'm just basically just creating the pathway. I'm just putting packed ice on top of the entire labyrinth, and that will force people to go through it. And here's the interesting thing: since they'll be able to look from the top, if they're looking down, they might be able to actually spot where the different chests will be, and it might actually do them some good later on when they're trying to figure out the different puzzles of the tower. Because I mean, I haven't even gotten to those yet. I mean, there's gonna be sections of the tower where you're going to have to you're going to need certain things in order to either survive the tower or figure out the tower, I mean figure out the floor, or unlock the floor, the next floor. So this actually might end up being a bit of a a boon for some people, if they're smart enough to be able to just, approach it wisely, go through it step by step, and recognize that that there is a potential advantage here. But it's a dangerous one, because obviously from here, you fall off of here. Well, that's 11 blocks down. It's not going to kill you, but you're when you go into the maze, when you go into the tower, you're not going to have access to food or anything else, unless I just decide that one of the chests is going to have some food in it. I mean, I could, but that's right now. I don't plan on that. But who knows? It could be that maybe I'll have like food as a reward for figuring out certain steps of the tower. Who knows? This is still being built. There's a lot of this that is still in its conceptual phase, and I haven't fully figured out the entire tower yet. I know some of what for sure is going to happen in this tower, and I don't know how much I want to talk about it, because eventually I do intend to open this tower up to fans, for them to see if they can get through it. But I suppose you guys are going to watch me build it, so I don't know why I shouldn't tell you at least my ideas, now that I think about it. I can tell you the ideas, and it's not going to matter, really, because you're still going to have to come up with ways to be able to defeat them. And even as you watch me build it, I'm not going to... I don't intend to record the answers to each problem that I'm going to build, that I plan to build in. I mean, for example, I do intend to have a way to be able to get through this little section here, even though it's on the surface, it might be just like, oh man, it's just going to be like ice parkour, and this is going to be a real pain. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be ice parkour, and it's going to be a pain. But excuse me, that doesn't mean that you can't build in some certain things that will help you be able to navigate an ice block. Well, I guess for lack of word, I don't know. It wouldn't be ice block biome. I guess it would be an ice block floor. Nor is this probably going to be the last time you see ice in the tower. There's a real good possibility that players will see ice on one or more floors. I don't know. Right now, as far as I can think, this is going to be the only floor where the entire place is ice blocks. I can't think of any other ones off my head that I have planned anyway, where we're going to be adding in, where I'm going to be adding in all the different ice and such. But I mean, who knows? It's very possible that in coming up with my concept for each floor of the Tower of Terror here, that maybe I'll just go, hey, you know what would make this even cooler or even harder is, maybe I'll put some ice blocks down. I don't know. But right now, as far as the entire floor, this is probably the only floor that's going to be entirely made up of ice blocks, mostly because this right here, this is just mean. This right here, this is just mean. Because literally people are going to be like jumping from spot to spot, trying to get over, and navigate these walls, these floors, and a single misstep is going to put them back into the labyrinth. And you know what? I need some light. But yeah, I mean, let's face it. This is just going to be mean right here. And the more I thought about it, because I was originally planning to like put little booby traps here and there just to shove people off, and put them into the labyrinth that way. And the more I thought about it, the more I was just like, I don't really think I need any, elaborate step on this thing, press the wrong button, push the wrong thing, and you'll go over kind of thing. This right here, this is like dangerous in that in within its own like right. As a matter of fact, I was originally planning to put this here, but I mean I don't even need to put this here like this. However, that can stay. Yeah, I mean I may as well just go ahead and remove all of this too, because that's not going to be necessary anymore. Put that there, remove all that, and put that. Because in this case, the more the better. I mean, we are the more empty space, the better. We don't actually want more ice. We want less ice, because you are still required to make your way through the ice, and get through it all. But if there's fewer spots for you to land, that's actually just makes it harder. So, trying to, and there's not going to be like one place that's going to just firmly connect you to every little thing. The way I built this maze, I built it deliberately so that you were going to have to at least jump a few times. You're not going to be able to, get through this whole thing without trying to, or without jumping at least a few of these gaps here. You're just not gonna. I built it that way deliberately. When I was building the maze, I had that in mind. Not that I always, knew exactly what I was doing, but I was thinking about, like, okay, if I were to, do, if I did, if I put this here, is it going to connect up anywhere? Am I going to be able to, do this, that, the other? You got what I'm saying. And so I set it up so that no matter what, you're going to have to at least jump some of these gaps. And I put, like, as you can see, I put a lot of diagonals in here, because these diagonals are, these things are, they're deceptive. When you're walking on these, it can seem like, okay, no big deal, I can walk on these, but boy, you make the wrong, you make the wrong misstep, and you can go right off of those. It seems more precarious, and it is more precarious. So I'm hoping that when people get to this particular floor, they'll be thinking that they'll be getting very nervous, because they don't want to, they just had to go through that labyrinth. It took them however long to be able to navigate that labyrinth, and now they've got to get through it, potentially again, and even wounded, because if they fall, they're definitely going to hurt themselves. unless they're able to find the thing that I am going to be putting into one of these chests. I do have I do have in mind something that will help people navigate this. I mean, I'm not going to talk about it because I want you guys to figure it out on your own. But it will be something that will help you survive this and help you get through these ice, this slippery ice a bit better. Not amazingly so, but it will help you a bit. And more importantly, it will help you survive this particular this particular like maze here, as you're jumping from place to place, because you fall too many times and you're gonna die. I mean, like I said, I don't plan to give people food. I don't plan to give them an easy way to regenerate. People who are going to be running through this are going to burn up their existing food source, like their calories, if you will, their saturation, food saturation. I always forget the terminology that Minecraft uses. And if they burn up their saturation, they're not going to have any more healing. And the first time, they fall and hurt themselves, well, that's going to burn up their saturation, and there's a real good possibility that they won't be able to do any more. They won't be able to heal past that first time. So I do plan to have an item or two in the labyrinth, the original labyrinth, that should you find it, it will aid you in staying alive. But we'll see what happens. First of all, people got to find him. And I mean, if they're really lucky, I mean, and I'm talking either stupidly lucky or incredibly patient, they'll get through the entire labyrinth. They'll like walk through every inch of the labyrinth, and they'll get every item that I will have secreted in the original labyrinth. And I hope that at least somebody does that, because that will show that they are giving this tower the respect that it's going to deserve. Because if they're wise, they'll go through the labyrinth and they will gather up every item in those chests, and that way, when they come across certain problems later, they will be prepared for those to be able to take on those challenges. So we'll see. We'll see if people are just racing to try to get through it, or if they're planning to get through it slow and steady and just defeat it. Are they going to try to beat it fast, or are they just going to try to beat it at all? And my plan is to basically make this difficult enough that the wise person won't try to beat it fast. They'll try to beat it at all, without dying anyway. Obviously, death is going to be a real thing in the maze here. There are going to be some very lethal floors. I'll tell you that right now. Some of these floors are going to be flat out, absolutely 100% lethal if you are not smart, unless you are incredibly smart about how you approach how you approach getting through each floor. And I have no intention of making it anything other than very, very lethal. This is evil. We are evil. I am representing evil on this side of the build battle here, and when if I'm going to be evil, I'm going to try to cause discomfort and annoyance and death upon the people who come into this tower. That's the point. Evil. So I was kind of making sure I wasn't overlooking any. It gets so dark inside this tower because the walls themselves tend to shut out a bit of the light, and since I used entirely black black walls, it tends to like really make it difficult to tell exactly where I'm putting stuff down sometimes. It's like I'm being evil to myself. Well, they say evil does turn upon itself eventually. Oops. Evil is inherently, self-destructive, so. Alright. Put that over. Whoop, whoop. Crush that. And, yeah, I mean, that's, that, oh, stop that. Here we go. And, yeah, that's currently the plan. Once I have completed this floor, we'll be moving on to the next floor. Now, the next floor, I haven't fully decided which of my ideas that I'm going to implement. So let me just kind of throw some of my ideas at you and see what you guys think of the ideas I have for each floor. For example, one floor is going to be made up entirely of slow sand and is going to be populated with wither roses. Now, it's not going to be like 100% wither roses everywhere, all the time, everywhere. There's going to be ways to circumnavigate the wither roses, but it's not going to be easy. And dotted throughout the wither rose slow sand area, I intend to put slimes. And you're not going to have any weapons at this point. And the slimes, their entire slimes are themselves not that bad, but when they hit you, they knock you back. And if they knock you back, they're very likely to knock you into the wither roses. So that's kind of one idea I have, and it's going to make things very interesting for you, for players to circumnavigate that. You're not going to have any, weapons unless you, once again, unless you get lucky or you are wise or otherwise, maze savvy to be able to find the chest that happens to have the one item that's going to help you on that floor. Again, I'm not going to tell you, and I'm not going to give any hints as to how to solve this the problem that I'm presenting to you. But it does. I mean, that kind of gives you an idea of just how some of these floors are going to be. Slow sand and wither roses. This is not a pleasant combination. Not only are you going to be going really slow throughout this whole thing, but if you make one mistake, you're withered. And being withered is no joke. And again, you're not going to have any way to, you're not going to be able to eat unless, like I said, unless you find food. You're not going to have a way to heal yourself, and there are no anti-wither magics that I'm aware of. I mean, unless they've added one to the game that I'm not, unless I'm just not thinking of it, which I guess it could be. But that's one thing I intend to do. Another thing I'm going to do is populate a floor and mine it. The floor will entirely be made up of magma blocks. And also on that magma block level, you will have magma cubes. And magma cubes will be populating that entire area. And once again, you're not going to have any weapons. Oh, there we go. This is why we're checking. You're going to have to figure out how to navigate those floors, and each one of those floors, it's not going to be easy to figure out. Oh, well, just run to the exit. No, it's not going to be that easy. I intend to hide the exits of on each floor, either behind redstone contraptions of some sort. Oh, there we go. Either behind some sort of redstone contraption, or like maybe I'll make it another like maze like this or something, and you'll have to find it. The whole point is that you're not going to have it easy. It's not just going to be a matter of I'll sprint across the whole thing and I'll get to the exit and I'll be fine. No, not going to work that way. You will not survive that. All right, so we now have okay, so these are done. Now we need to have our roof. Now people are going to be jumping. Oops. Let's see. So if they're running, whee! Oh, ah! Some of these things are going to be just absolutely, like, incredibly frustrating for people to be able to navigate. Because I am going to put a roof on this floor as well. It's not going to be a low roof. They're going to have enough room to be able to jump from place to place. I'm not that big of a jerk. But they are going to be have a roof and some limited options on what to do. They're not going to be able to, for example, they're not going to be able to fly or something. I'm not going to be like programming in something that allows them to fly over this thing. I'm not that good with redstone and command blocks and other stuff like that anyway. I'm not going to pretend that I am. But that that does it literally until I put my roof on. This is the second floor. You're looking at it. This is the entirety of it. People are going to have to parkour their way across this maze of packed ice, hopefully not falling back into the labyrinth, because if they do, they're going to have to do the labyrinth all the way back again and come back up to floor number 2. And so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here, because I'm going to build the roof to this, and I have to figure out what kind of roof I'm going to have to this. I haven't decided if the next floor is going to be my soul sand, or if my next floor is going to be if it's going to be the I can't think right now, the magma blocks, or one of the other ideas. I mean, I only told you 2 of the ideas. I actually have several ideas of what I'm going to do, and I haven't fully decided what I'm going to do as my next floor. So until I do, I'm just basically going to. I need to think of what I'm gonna make as my roof. But I will do that off camera, and you guys will see what I end up doing to the roof in the next episode. But in any case, guys, that's going to do it for this particular episode. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, do the liking and the subscribing and the commenting down below. You guys are amazing. I truly, truly appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, everyone, always remember that anyone can be a mouse that roars, but it takes someone special to be a lion that squeaks. So embrace your inner lion and squeak on! I wonder how Mama Bear is doing. Hey, I wonder if she found her little present that I left her. Let's check in. All right. Now, she was on a little while ago, and as you can see, she's kind of working on some, her some sort of thing over here. Looks kind of like a, I don't know, like a mission or something. I don't know, like a Spanish mission or a church or something, I don't know. But looks like she's been working on this for a while. Actually, I kind of like these pillars. They look good. But let's see if she found, if she found our little explosive surprise. What? What is this? What happened to the dynamite? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom. What is happening? What? Foiled again. I'll stop her somehow. Somehow! Curse you, Mama Bear! Shut up, cow. Making me feel bad. Ugh. Go back and work on my tower.